Alhamdulillah wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadi alladhina istafa. We are very fortunate to not only recite the Quran, but we have been very fortunate to recite a particular surah in the Quran called Surah Ar-Rahman. You know, this is such a beautiful surah that many people even name the children after it by saying Abdul Rahman. And one of the reasons why we love this surah a lot is because it's a surah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will recite on the day of Qiyamah. And as people of faith, we cannot wait for that given day. It's a surah that stands out, and it's a surah that every parent loves for the child to memorize. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts off the surah with the words of Ar-Rahman. Ar-Rahman meaning the most compassionate, the most merciful, the most loving, the most kind. Ar-Rahman, Allama al-Quran, who was kind enough to teach us this Quran, who was kind enough to have given us the ability to listen to this Quran, reflect upon this Quran, and make this Quran a living embodiment. خلق الإنسان علمه البيان, who created humans from a humble beginning, all the way to the point wherein we can think, we can rationalize, we can reflect, we can control our environments to the extent that Allah allows us to control it, to create betterment, goodness, and everything of great positivity. خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانِ عَلَّمَهُ الْبَيَانِ, who taught us the ability to speak. My brothers and sisters, if this ni'mah alone is taken away, the ability of speech, how would we communicate with one another? It's not that we could not communicate with one another. It'll become so much more challenging. And Allah is bringing all this to the forefront for one purpose, to make us realize, O insan, O humans, your origin is very, very simple. Your beginning point was very, very humble. And from that beginning point, I took you to the point in which you can control your environment and much more. You can even go up to the moon and start looking for a place to reside over there. Allah is saying, I gave you all this creativity. And repeatedly in the surah, Allah thereafter asks, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ, which of the ni'mah and the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are you going to deny? Are you going to refute? Are you not going to be appreciative of? For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the meeting of the two waters, the two oceans where they meet. Some people say it is in Cape Town. Some say it's, if not mistaken, around the area of Gibraltar. And of course, there are multiple places that it does meet. When you look down at the waters, you actually see two distinct bodies of water meeting, two separate colors. They come and thereafter they go their own way. Allah is teaching us, be balanced. Meet with people, connect with people, but do not let them influence you in the wrong way. And do not let yourself influence them in the wrong way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about measurement in this surah. Don't be an extremist. Don't go in excess in anything, whether it is spending money, whether it is fasting, whether it is even reading the Quran. Everything has a balance. And Allah is saying in this given surah, Ar-Rahman, through the mercy and compassion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you also be this way, balance in everything you do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also talks about the aspects of jinn. And Allah is saying even to the jinn and to humans that both of you have a role to play. And your role is what? To worship Allah in the way in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls for you to worship Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also talks about Hal jaza'ul ihsan illa al-ihsan. Understand full well, my brothers and sisters, good will only produce good. And if we incline ourselves towards that which is not so good, then unfortunately the outcome of that will also be not so good. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also talks about Jannah in this surah. And He motivates us by talking about the beautification of Jannah, the places we'll be able to reside in Jannah, the beautiful couches, the beautiful silk garments, the beautiful palaces, the beautiful individuals, men and women that we will be able to connect with. Why is Allah mentioning this? Allah is passing a message. Number one, do not forget about the mercy of Allah. Number two, do not forget about the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And these favors that Allah is giving us, that too is limited. There's only so much of it we can get in this world. And if we truly want to tap into the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we have to do good things, be the best we can. So in the hereafter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us much more of it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also making mention that as far as this world is concerned, it never will be Jannah. There'll always be challenges. Today it's good, and tomorrow there's a challenge. And today there's a challenge, and tomorrow a window opens. Just when it opens, a new challenge comes by. Allah says this is the world. Although this is the world, Allah is saying something very important. Look at the other beautiful things that Allah has given us. You know, for some, He may give a speech impediment, but they may have greater vision. Some people may have a weak vision, but they have great hearing. Some people may have great vision, great hearing, great speaking abilities, but they may have a challenge in the family. Allah is passing a message to us in the surah. Appreciate all the ni'mah, all the bounties, and focus on those bounties, but not to the point where it limits your spiritual development and your akhirah. In other words, if Allah has given you something great, don't get so caught up in it that you forget about the other great things that are out there. And all these beautiful things out there, Allah is passing a message, and a beautiful message. They are for one purpose. They are given to you out of kindness, not so that you may get absorbed upon them, but so that you may be able to use them in the way that Allah decrees, because this world will never be paradise. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue forgiving us in this month of Ramadan. We ask Allah to continue to make us generous. As you know, masjids have projects. Look towards the projects that they are taking part in. Try to support your local organizations. Try to support even our masjid. Try to support the various organizations out there that are trying to do good for humanity. Now, I'm not saying give blind support. No, you have to do your research. You have to make sure that the hard-earned money and resources that you are going to give them, they are going to use it in a responsible way and in the manner in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls for it to be used. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us understanding the beauty of this wonderful Surah Ar-Rahman, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those that will hear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course, reciting this beautiful surah on the day of Qiyamah, and may He keep us close to the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the day of Qiyamah as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us and guide us. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.